If you're planning to tap into your IRA savings before age 59 and a half, you're probably worried about those dreaded early withdrawal penalties. The IRS charges you 10% on the amount you withdraw early, and that can add up quickly, especially when you're trying to enjoy your hard-earned savings. Today, I'm going to show you how to plan your IRA withdrawals to avoid those penalties and make sure you're not losing money unnecessarily. But first, if you want to learn why thousands of Americans are opening gold IRAs to protect their wealth, check out the free guide linked in the description below. It's perfect for anyone serious about protecting their savings in the next couple of weeks, and I'll explain why in just a bit. Now, let's dive into how you can avoid these early withdrawal fees. The first thing you need to understand is that IRAs are meant to be long-term retirement savings accounts. But there are some exceptions to the early withdrawal penalty that you can take advantage of if you plan carefully. The first strategy is taking advantage of the first-time homebuyer exception. If you're buying a home for the first time, you can withdraw up to $10,000 from your IRA without facing the 10% penalty. But here's the catch. This only applies to IRAs, not 401ks, and the funds must be used for a first-time home purchase, so you'll need to prove that you've never owned a home before. Another option is using the higher education expenses exception. If you need to withdraw funds to pay for college tuition for yourself or your children, you can also avoid the penalty. However, just like the homebuyer exception, you'll need to show documentation for those education expenses to qualify. Now let's talk about using your IRA funds for medical expenses. If you've had a major medical issue and the medical expenses exceed 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, you can withdraw from your IRA penalty-free. Just make sure those expenses are well documented to avoid any issues. If you find yourself in a situation where you need to access your IRA funds immediately, there's a strategy called a 72T distribution. This method allows you to take a series of early withdrawals from your IRA without penalty, as long as you commit to taking the same amount annually for at least 5 years, or until you turn 59 and a half, whichever comes later. The 72T method can be a great option, but you have to be careful, as it's not a get-out-of-jail-free card. Once you start, you must continue with the withdrawals as planned. Another tip, especially for those nearing retirement, is to look into the Roth IRA conversion strategy. By converting your traditional IRA to a Roth IRA, you avoid the early withdrawal penalty. The catch is that the funds you convert will be subject to income tax, but you'll avoid that 10% penalty altogether. This strategy works best if you have a few years before retirement, so you don't have to worry about accessing your money too soon. Lastly, if you're considering taking out a loan against your 401k, remember that this is an option to avoid the penalty as well. However, if you don't repay the loan in the required time frame, the balance becomes taxable and subject to the 10% penalty, so be sure to plan carefully. Before we wrap up, I want to remind you that if you're serious about protecting your wealth and avoiding penalties while securing your financial future, check out the free Gold IRA guide linked below. Thousands of Americans are turning to gold IRAs to safeguard their wealth, and it's especially ideal for those with $100,000 or more in their IRA or 401k, or even those with 5M or plus in savings. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity. Now, let's summarize. You've got options to avoid the 10% penalty, whether it's buying a home, paying for higher education, covering medical expenses, or using the 72T strategy. But when it comes down to it, there's no better option than securing your wealth with a gold IRA, especially for retirees looking to protect what they've worked so hard for. If you want to dive deeper into why gold IRAs are the perfect option for American retirees like you, click the first link in the description. You'll get a free guide that's specifically designed for those with 100K plus or more in their IRA or 401k, or even 5M plus in savings. Don't wait. Take action now and secure your financial future today.